Why is it that some people, even with discipline and effort, remain stuck in place, while others seem to advance 10 times faster? Is it because they work harder, or because they were born gifted? Napoleon Hill was clear. It's not brute force that builds wealth. It's the quality of information you transform into action. Working without direction is rowing in circles. Energy wasted, progress invisible. What shifts destiny isn't effort alone, but the compass that points to the right path. Knowledge. And not just any knowledge. We live in an age drowning in information, but starving for wisdom. The majority consume endless data, news, and distractions, mistaking knowing about something for knowing how to apply it. That kind of learning creates weight. It slows you down. What truly multiplies results is specialized knowledge. The kind you select, focus on, and apply until it bends outcomes in your favor. It is this ability to filter noise and invest in what matters that separates mediocrity from prosperity. By the end of this video, you'll understand why information, when chosen and applied strategically, becomes the most powerful weapon of all. Desire gives you the fuel. Faith gives you conviction. But knowledge gives you direction. And those who master the right knowledge inevitably master the game. Napoleon Hill was blunt. Knowledge by itself is not power. Thousands of people spend their entire lives accumulating useless information, books, courses, facts, trivia, yet never turn any of it into wealth, impact, or prosperity. Why? Because power is born only when knowledge is organized, directed, and applied toward a definite purpose. Think about it. There's a brutal difference between common knowledge and specialized knowledge. Common knowledge is everywhere. On social media, in classrooms, in conversations at the bar. It's the flood of information that anyone can access. Specialized knowledge, on the other hand, is what you deliberately select, study deeply, and apply to a clear objective. That kind of knowledge, combined with a definite desire and a solid plan, becomes competitive advantage. Hill's lesson is sharp. Success doesn't demand that you know everything. It demands that you know what is essential for your goal, and that you are willing to seek out people and resources to fill in the rest. That's why he cited Henry Ford. The founder of Ford Motor Company was not an academic genius. In fact, he was mocked in courtrooms and newspapers for lacking culture. When asked why he didn't know technical details of history or science, Ford replied, "Why should I clutter my mind with information I can summon at the touch of a button? I have men around me who can supply any knowledge I need." That response silenced his critics and revealed the essence of true power. It's not about knowing everything, but about structuring and mobilizing the right knowledge with purpose. Now, bring this forward to today. We are drowning in data, news feeds, online courses, podcasts, opinions, an endless avalanche of content. But that flood doesn't create power. Without the ability to filter, organize, and apply, you get lost. It's like trying to drink from a fire hydrant. You swallow water, but you remain thirsty. Hill's warning is even more relevant now. Those who master the art of selecting specialized knowledge create disproportionate advantage. While the majority are distracted by the noise, those who focus only on learning what moves them toward their definite purpose advance faster, with precision. The rule is simple and merciless. Knowledge without application is dead weight. Knowledge with direction is power. And specialized knowledge, tied to a burning desire, becomes the driving force behind every real achievement. The impact of this is both psychological and practical. When you master what you need to know, or know exactly who can supply it, you gain confidence, clarity, and authority. Your mind stops wandering in random directions and starts laying a straight road toward your goal. Hill wasn't only speaking of financial wealth, he was speaking of personal power, of influence, of the ability to turn vision into reality. And that begins with what you choose to learn, who you choose to learn from, and how you choose to apply it. So the question is as sharp as it is uncomfortable. Are you hoarding information you'll never use? Or are you dedicating yourself to absorbing only what, applied with persistence, can truly change your life? In the end, Hill leaves no illusions. Knowledge only matters when it becomes action. And those who know how to use information as a lever inevitably earn the power to write their own destiny. But how does Napoleon Hill's idea actually translate into practice in our time? We live in the most data-rich era in history, yet never before have so many people felt lost, paralyzed, and without direction. Why? Because most drown in common knowledge. They consume endless amounts of content, but almost none of it turns into results. And this is where the brutal difference lies, between those who merely know and those who apply. Prosperity belongs to those who understand that knowledge becomes power only when it's executed as strategy. A startup doesn't grow because its founders know everything. It grows because they master one slice of knowledge, technology, marketing, or logistics, and then build a network of specialists to cover what they lack. They apply focus, not dispersion. Default text look at the digital world. Millions spend hours watching videos about entrepreneurship, productivity, or investing, yet remain trapped in the same routine. Meanwhile, others take a single idea, launching an online store, investing with a clear strategy, creating a course, and completely change their financial trajectory. The difference isn't in the information received. It's in the filter and the execution. Athletes at the highest level don't study every sport. They go deep into the skills, drills, and tactics of their specific field. Top doctors don't try to master every branch of medicine. They specialize, build expertise in one domain, and turn that knowledge into authority. Entrepreneurs who change the game don't try to be walking encyclopedias. They know what they want and pursue only the knowledge that shortens the path to it. Information without focus is distraction. Information with purpose is power. In practice, that means if you want financial freedom, you need to master what. And what do all these stories have in common? The turning point was never quantity, but the quality of information. It wasn't encyclopedic knowledge, but strategic knowledge. Not accumulation, but filtration and application. Napoleon Hill said it best. Knowledge becomes power only when it is organized into action plans and directed toward a definite purpose. That's exactly what these examples prove. It doesn't matter if you have access to billions of data points. If you don't know which one to use, you'll stay stuck. But if you master the right piece of knowledge, applied to the right desire, nothing can stop your progress. So here's the question you need to ask yourself. What is the one piece of information that could change your next move? What knowledge, if applied today, could accelerate your path by years? Because in the end, it's never about knowing more. It's about knowing what matters and acting on it. At the end of the day, the truth is sharp and undeniable. Knowledge, by itself, means nothing. Power only exists when knowledge is filtered, organized, and applied with precision. You can spend years reading, studying, and collecting information, but unless you turn it into decisions, strategies, and disciplined action, it remains dead weight. That's why so many stay stuck, because it's easier to hide behind, "I need to learn more," than to use what they already know. The comfort of consuming more information becomes paralysis, and paralysis is expensive. It costs time, opportunities, and the life you could already be building. Now consider the opposite. Imagine what happens when you stop hoarding knowledge and start applying only what matters. Suddenly, the noise fades. Your path sharpens. Energy once scattered in every direction focuses on one clear goal. That's when the shift happens. While the majority drown in distraction, you advance with quiet certainty, turning information into results. This is the lesson Napoleon Hill wanted burned into your mind. Success doesn't demand knowing everything. It demands the courage to act on the right knowledge at the right moment with unshakable persistence. So ask yourself, what do you already know that, if applied today, could change your direction entirely? What insight, skill, or decision is waiting to be used as the spark for your next breakthrough? Because the world doesn't reward those who collect knowledge for display. It rewards those who use it as leverage. Write it down. Declare your decision. When you commit in writing, you give your mind a command, and the mind obeys. And remember, this is just the beginning. In the next chapter, Hill takes us into the workshop where all knowledge, desire, and faith merge into creation, the imagination. It's there that ideas take shape, and where the impossible begins to turn into reality. The journey forward starts now.